Hi, YouTuberverse. What's going on? I want to talk to you about eating disorders in trans people. So, I just participated in a research from, I think, Birmingham or some university in the UK, and they were investigating trans people and eating disorders. So, they asked me, like, do you think you have an eating disorder? And I'm thinking, I don't know. I don't think I do, honestly. But deep down, I am definitely not eating the same way I used to before, right? So, what does that mean? Now, because the transition is something that you kind of do to get certain type of results physically and maybe mentally and maybe some expectation also from yourself and from society. So, when I actually, before I even started the transition, when I was non-binary, I tried to make my hips big by doing squats, doing a bunch of workouts in the morning. I think I did three main workouts in the mornings. One where you have like your leg goes sideways, like to get the hips or the side muscles to get stronger and bigger. The second one would be like, I think, like a donkey kick or something they call it. So you just get on your floor and you kick your leg like a horse or like a donkey, one of them at a time, not two. The third one is what I'm still doing is squats, and I do sumo squats. So my whole transition was kind of hectic in relation to bodily expectations. So I was kind of not consistent with my hormones, and I kept changing the doses, the orders, and like my body did not get the chance to actually develop well and get used to the hormones so that it lets my body take its course of hormone replacement therapy and give me the secondary characteristics that I am expecting or looking for. So eventually, I started taking hormones in May consistently, but only very recently did I start to consistently do the same dose and not change it. And I realized, like at the beginning when I started with May, um, the dose was kind of very high, so my body was like excited. It's like, woo! I had zero testosterone, well, not zero. I think it was 0.26 or something, which is very low. But on the other hand, my estrogen was actually very, very high. So I did not have an endocrinologist at the time. So I kind of just did it on my own. And I had a couple of friends who also were doing something like that. So doing it on their own, self medicating. Self medicating. But eventually, one of my friends told me, like, yeah, you're taking too much because I was doing estradiol valerate first, and I was doing it every 4 days, and my dose was like 600 easily of estrogen. Then I lowered it because I ordered a different shipment of estradiol and nanthate, where I just have to inject myself once a week. So I inject myself every Sunday. And with this, I kind of calmed myself down a little bit, and because I wanted the transition to go quick, I injected myself with more things. And I started realizing, I think I posted a video about this, that my skin started having dark spots here on my face and this area. So I was having melasma, and I was looking this up. And the side effects of too much estrogen are pretty much melasma. So you can see this in pregnant women. Pregnant women have an intense amount of estrogen. I think it gets all the way to 3,000 um, for a couple of weeks or something. And estrogen can mess you up, honestly, because your body, yeah, needs a little bit of it, not like testosterone. So eventually I had to reduce my dose. And the last time I checked with my endocrinologist, who I'm following kind of right now, my estrogen was at 200 and my testosterone was at 20 something, 0.20 something. And my prolactin, though, it was 100 and something. So happily, my breasts are not like perky pointy. They're actually very round, which is kind of nice. But I think my endocrinologist wants to lower my prolactin levels because it could be dangerous in some sense. I'm not trying to have top surgery or any type of surgery except the reassignment surgery, so the bottom surgery. And I'm doing this for myself. It's not anything physical for people. It's not, for, I don't know, what people like want to do. I might get like breast augmentations later, but I don't think I need this. I kind of like the slender top part with a little bit of breast tissue. I always admired women like this, and I think the women I dated before were actually into this body type. So they're not very big, very curvy. They were a little bit in between, and usually I did not choose them. They typically chose me, and I would say they were definitely strong, independent women. And the majority of them were slender, not big hips, and not big breasts, which for me was amazing because I know the person and I kind of liked who they are and I love their body because I love them. Simple. But had they not approached me and told me I'm pretty and wanted to, go have a drink with me or something, I probably would not approach anyone. I don't think I approached anyone per se, right? And this was also like a sign for me. I was like, wow. I just like I guess, in some women, they actually do this too. I just like the appreciation of my existence when someone tells me I'm pretty and tell me I'm smart. And I just kind of melt with this. And I'm like, yeah, let's go out more. And then I start realizing like, yeah, I'm just more than pretty and kind of smart. But then there's still things that I did not feel comfortable with. But eventually, ever since I started the transition, or even before the transition, I was messing up with my diet. So I'm doing some caloric cycling thing, which means I would be doing a couple of months of very, very low caloric intake and then a couple of months of very, very high caloric intake. But I'm not actually very inconsistent with this because I'm seeing that I'm forcing my body to be something. And I think the hormones are not working very well because I'm having very little or very much of a calorie intake. And that is messing up with my own bodily autonomy in some sense. I don't know if anyone can tell, but my cheeks are not as narrow as before. So I have actually fuller cheeks. This month in January, I was doing a very low caloric intake. I was even eating once a day only and drinking water and maybe eating sunflower seeds at night when I'm watching something. I did not really feel much of a problem with the very kind of low caloric intake diet, but yesterday I had to do some errands and actually move around, and I did feel a little bit like just dizzy, drooly. I don't know. But usually I work at home, so I can afford a very low calorie intake diet, right? But this week I started realizing that my body is actually changing. It's staying consistent and it wants to grow, but I'm not giving it anything because I feel tingles in certain areas. And I think my body is like, we're ready, like, give us something. The reason I did this caloric deficit is because I wanted to get rid of my muscle mass. I don't have a lot of muscle, but I can still see and have and feel the muscles. And that kind of makes me want to change something about it. The solution I found out very recently was not to eat a lot less, is to wear very loose clothes, like what I'm wearing today. So this way I don't have to look at my muscles. So my whole diet style is not really about what people see. It's just about me seeing myself in reflections. And I think I'm very cute, don't get me wrong. At this stage of my transition, I'm actually very content. I don't think I've been this happy with myself, liking what I see with and without makeup. And I'm very content with this. But also, before this caloric deficit, I had a very high caloric intake. I was literally buying cake, chocolate, potato chips, and anything that has calories. So it was also leading to bad things because I started learning that not all sugar and fat gets you to have fat in certain places. If you consume lots of sugar, you might develop insulin resistance, and that could be bad for you because then you'll be dependent on sugar. I don't have an addictive personality, but I could be leading my body toward a situation that's not beneficial. So I stopped doing that because I also learned that most of fat that comes from sugar goes in the belly, lower belly, not to the hips. So, problem. Eventually, I am now back to normal, to my normal diet, nothing crazy. But I'm not consuming much sugar as my main source of calories. I am actually consuming macadamia nuts. Macadamia have like 100 grams of macadamia nuts has 700 calories. It's a tiny little bag. And it has like 75 grams of unsaturated um, fats, so healthy fats, which will go in the right places. And I started actually focusing on nuts to get my fat intake and just kind of have my protein normal. I'm not trying to do anything with my diet anymore. I'm not trying to control it, increase it, decrease it in any sense. I think I'm just done with this whole trying to force my body to change. I read that it takes years for your muscles to actually change, and it takes years for your breasts and your fat deposits to accumulate. So I like things to go. I want to see changes. But like I said, I'm also consuming um, hyaluronic acid with collagen pills every day, 2 pills. And those give me vitamin C, collagen, hyaluronic acid, so retention of water. And I can definitely see it in my skin. My skin is definitely healthier. And my face is fuller. It's more round now. It's like I don't have sharp edges. And a couple of people told me, even when I have like very low makeup, I really like makeup. Like I love this. So sharp. But in my typical work day, I do not look like this. I just kind of have a little bit of eyeliner, but nothing under. No lipstick, just kind of lip liner. Sometimes lipstick. 'Cause why not? I work at home. So eventually I just play around, trying to get pretty for myself and, treat yourself. I don't want to be getting stuck with I work from home, thus I can be just lazy. I'm doing the opposite. I work from home, thus I'm going to make my home clothes, home look very cute. So I have very cute pajamas that give me, a nice curve or fluffy clothes or whatever. And the same thing with my house because I stay here quite often. I'm actually moving. I would have made this different, this whole setting of this room, but I'm moving to Seville very soon, hopefully. And there, I'm gonna have to look for a place before I actually start decorating. But I painted those, and I'm probably gonna start painting more. I usually play music, so yeah. If you're transitioning, or if you know someone who is transitioning, try to be conscious of their food intake. Trans men also have the issue because trans men come from estrogen dominant bodies. So their mind is like, I should not eat because it will go to my hips and my breast. I talked to people who told me this, so it's not my own opinion. But eventually, the testosterone dominant body will take that and put it somewhere else. But I think going to the gym will actually be the best solution here. I'm doing squats to have my legs and my gluteos be bigger instead of trying to get skinnier in general. So I'm just trying to have the lower body be bigger so that everything balances out. Right? So let me show you what I'm wearing. I'm actually wearing my pajama pants, but don't tell anyone. But eventually the look is actually cute. I have this necklace. I don't know what to do with the hair. I like it, but today it's really messy. I didn't really wash my hair this week. But I like this yellow, right? And I have my leggings and some boots. So my boots have yellow. That's why everything kind of goes in place. But look, you can actually see them, right? So I like this sweater a lot.